Just over a decade ago now, La Sportiva brought out this legendary shoe, the Skwama. It's been so popular that it nearly caused a bit of an issue because everyone wanted it, whether it was right for them or not. So now they've brought out the Skwama Lite. So before I tell you all about the Skwama Lite, let's have a quick recap on the Skwama itself. So this is a real top-end shoe. As you can expect with that, it's got excess grip from Vibram on the sole, loads of tension, a really good heel, and it has to be fitted really tight to perform well. Look at that toe box. It's really quite, got a big knuckle in there. If you don't knuckle your toes up in it, you're probably fitting it wrong. So this is where the issue lied. Loads of people love it. They went straight to it, and top-end climbers are wearing it. It's really cool, performs really well. But if you're not fitting it tight, it doesn't perform well, or it can give you quite a lot of pain. So people get good at climbing these days really quickly because indoor walls and gyms are just brilliant, and you can go in and hire a pair of shoes or try something on and instantly be climbing through volumes and realize you're quite good at it. Then you see the top guys all climbing around in these, looking really cool, doing amazing problems, and you go, right, that's the shoe for me, and jump straight from something like the Tarantula or the Tarantula Boulder all the way up to a Skwama. And actually you might not be ready for it, or you just simply don't need it and your feet are in a bit of pain. So that's where I think the Skwama Lite has absolutely nailed that area. So please get me right here, this is not a beginner shoe. It can be, but I've been climbing quite a long time, and actually this has now been my go-to for good reason. So first of all, the simple thing is, it's so comfy. I've got a pair of Skwamas, but as I sort of do a lot more climbing with my kids now, and my grade's not that great at the moment, I don't really need them. And yeah, they're still in my bag if I do decide I really want to stick to that. That's a tiny edge or a really good heel hook, and maybe I'll do that again soon. But at the moment, I'm just enjoying climbing for climbing's sake, and I'm going down the wall with my kids and having a good time, and I've been loving the comfort. But also, they're really comfy, but actually, they're not holding me back either. Because in the past, the sort of beginner shoes or intermediate ones were often all based around trad climbing in the outdoors, so stiff, comfy soles, but they're not very sensitive and not much downturn. The Skwama Lite sort of gets rid of all of those issues. So while it shares a lot of the features of the Skwama, most of them have been down-tuned. So as you can see, the first thing I want to show you is that toe box. The Skwama had quite a big sort of what they call love bump area, so you could really knuckle your toes, stand on tiny edges. You can see this is a lot slimmer, so while your toe's not going to be super flat in there, it's only got a slight arch, and that's much easier to cope with while keeping them on for a long time. And it makes you not want to fit them too tight. I'd sort of strongly advise you, don't get these super tight to try and perform really well. Enjoy some comfort, enjoy your climbing, get some other shoes for sort of performing. These are just lovely to wear and keep on your feet for a long time. And I would say that's actually been really noticeable. I know I keep banging on about the comfort, but it's the main thing about this. I've been down the wall, like I say, having these quite long sessions with my kids, and I leave them on the whole time. I certainly can't do that with most of my other shoes. And something else about the comfort is the inside. It's got this microfiber inner, so as soon as you put your foot in, it just feels like you're wearing a sock, because obviously most of us don't wear socks with their shoes. You can if you like, but I don't usually. And it just feels lovely in there, really plush, slides in really easily, so it's not a real struggle, and comfy in there. It seems to cope with moisture and sweat quite well, because let's be honest, it's been built mainly for indoor use. Moving on from that microfiber inner, the actual whole shoe is vegan as well. And one of the things that is really good for, other than the obvious reasons, is the fact that it's really easy to wash. They actually advertise this is a good shoe for washing. And that's quite important because, like I say, indoor climbing regularly, a lot of people do that 2 or 3 times a week. Your shoes can get pretty stinky and horrible. So on a cool wash, I think they recommend around 30 degrees, stick in the washing machine and they'll come out nice and fresh and not really damage the shoe. Quite a big plus point for a lot of us. And while I'm on that, I keep talking about the indoor sort of thing around this shoe. It has really been designed for that. And that's because it wants to be a bit of a workhorse as well. So quite durable. A lot of shoes that really perform well inside are really soft and really thin rubber and all that. And if you wear them a lot and a lot of toe hooks and things like that, you can get through shoes really quickly and damage them. This has been built to last and it's got a lot of durability throughout. That even leads on to the sole. So they've not gone for Vibram because Vibram does 2 things. While it's really sticky and performs really well, it's one quite costly and it will wear out quicker than a sole like this. So instead of using Vibram, they've used their own rubber, which is called friction. Now we think it's pronounced that, it's actually spelled with an X. Now that's a bit more durable than Vibram. I'll be honest, it's not quite as tacky and sticky, but it's certainly not held me back at all yet, particularly at my grades. Some of the top guys might really notice that, you know, on the top problems and the harder, smaller edges, they really might want to move on to their Squamas, but that's, if I'm honest, not the point of this shoe. I was really expecting it to not be very tacky and not very good, and when I got them out of the box, straight away I was like, oh, maybe they're not that sticky. But with all shoes, I'd sort of forgot about this. They need a bit of breaking in, a bit of warming up, and now I'm just finding absolutely no issues. In fact, on the grit today, they've been brilliant. Now that outsole is 4mm thick, which gives a good level of durability, but also it gives a little bit of stiffness if you are standing on a small edge. But overall, it is quite a soft shoe, which is, as we said before, perfect for those indoor volumes and blobs and stuff like that. As you can see, it's a split sole. Now that is on purpose for a few reasons. One, because it gives that sensitivity and the feel you need for a lot of indoor climbing, but also it makes it incredibly easy to re-sole. So again, this shoe is built for durability and lasting a long time. You can whack a new sole on there really easily and keep this thing going. And you can see quite clearly when you compare the two shoes, the tension is not nearly as taut in this Skwama Lite as it is in the Skwama. Now what I mean by that is how hard the heel is getting pulled in and how taut the shoe is at the forefoot, basically making you stand on those smaller edges. That is what leads to the comfort. But also, again, for someone like me in the grades I'm climbing at the minute, that's certainly not holding me back. In fact, it probably helps because I'm just not in as much pain while standing on those footholds. But then a lot of the construction, it does share with the Skwama. So it's still got the P3 system in it. You might have all forgotten what that stands for, but it's the Permanent Power Platform. Now that just means that it doesn't lose its shape over the time. So a lot of shoes will start slightly downturned, but after a few years you'll find they just live like that. So this will keep rebounding, and again that really helps with the re-soling. The heel as well is sort of down-tuned from the Skwama. This is quite a solid thing with a lot of tension. Some people can find that uncomfortable and a bit unsensitive actually, because it's quite solid with the S heel. This is much thinner, much more traditional heel, quite narrow actually, so it fits really well, but without too much pain on the Achilles, so much more comfy, but still very sensitive heel. Still got a huge toe patch, which is really important for toe hooks, again, particularly indoors, even outdoors as well, but it's definitely a bit softer than on the Skwama, again, leading to comfort. But the closure system is pretty much the same because pretty much everyone loves that. Just one simple strap. You can actually adjust which side you want it to be, a bit further to the front or a bit nearer the back, just so it holds your heel in nicely. Again, really simple, goes on really quickly, really comfortable, but holds me in nice and secure. And you don't have to just believe me. Arona, who works for us as well, has been climbing in them too. She climbs a lot harder than me, and she's been really finding the same as me. Even though it's not vibrant, even though it's not super tension, they're not holding her back. She's comfy, climbing indoors and climbing at those higher grades, and really, really loving the comfort. So yeah, really happy about the Skwama Lite. I think La Sportiva absolutely nailed what they were trying to do. Skwama is still up there, it's a brilliant shoe. Tarantula is still there if you really want total comfort. But that intermediate ground where you don't want to hurt your feet, but also you need that next level, bit more downturn, an overhang or something like that. The Skwama Lite really does that. I do not want to say this is a beginner shoe. Please do not think that. Like I said, I've been climbing for years and this is perfect for me. Use it for your training if you want and get your harder shoes for when you go out and climb harder things. But why not live in something that's a bit cheaper, a bit more robust, a bit comfier for 90% of your climbing? I'm probably going to use it for about all my climbing at the moment. Hopefully you found this video useful. We've got loads of videos on our YouTube channel, so maybe subscribe to those. Not all about rock shoes, lots about climbing, some about camping, all that type of thing. So give us a like, give us a subscribe. If you get a chance, come to the shop in the Peak District or check us out online.